I'm kind of worried for the NBA because it seems like favorites just don't win games anymore. Today we had the Atlanta Hawks upset the Knicks once again to go up 2-1 in the series, and the Raptors just upset the Cavaliers, beat them by 22 points on their own home court, and they are now down 1-2 in the series. Along with this, the Wolves beat the Nuggets going up 2-1. I won't classify this so much as an upset, but I mean, guys, this was a crazy day. The lower seed won every single game. 6, 5, and 6 beat 3, 4, and 3. And I'm going to be breaking down why this happened and why it actually might happen again. Starting off with probably the most infamous series of them all, Hawks versus Knicks. Now, this has been a huge rivalry in the past, particularly when Trae Young was on the Hawks. Of course, that's no longer the case, but it seems like they still cook the Knicks because in the past 2 games, the Hawks have won both by a combined point differential of 2. That means that the game that they had 3 days ago, game 2 of the series, they won by a single point off of a CJ McCollum game winner. And tonight, they won by a single point off of a CJ McCollum game winner. I feel like I'm just living in some time loop because how does he keep doing this? It seems like Dame just lended his powers to CJ or something because with 12 seconds left, he hit a nice 16-foot turnaround game-winning fadeaway over Jalen Johnson. I mean, the picture is just insane. I'll put it on screen real quick right now, but I just can't believe it. So now, if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you're clearly asking, well, what's the recipe for success? And honestly, I have no idea. This series is so weird because of how close it is, and because of how close all of the regular season games were as well. In the games that they have won, CJ McCollum has scored 25 and 23, but in the game they lost, he scored 32. I think that the key differentiator between the game that they lost and the 2 games that they've won is Jalen Johnson, because tonight Jalen Johnson had 24, 10, and 8, and the other night he had 17, 8, and 3. Compare that to the first game where he had 23 points, but on 40% shooting. I think it's clear that he is one of the key factors, obviously being arguably the most improved player this year, even though he didn't actually win the award, and an all-star reaching all-NBA caliber play. The Knicks, on the other hand, what do you even do? I mean, this is extremely embarrassing. I think that probably the worst player tonight was Josh Hart, and I'm just going to call him out because he shot 1 for 9, including 0 of 4 from 3, had 2 turnovers, 3 fouls, and 9 rebounds and 6 assists. I mean, just an ugly stat line, something you'd see from Draymond Green halfway through a game that he gets ejected from, and it's just really terrible play. Now, the one bright spot on this Knicks loss was actually the plus-minus, because, I mean, once you start isolating those players that are super negative, Mikal Bridges, minus 26 in 21 minutes played, where he had 0 points on 0% shooting and 4 turnovers. This is a generational stinker. And of course, Mitchell Robinson, minus 18, OG Anunoby, minus 4. But then you look on the flip side of things, and Cat was a plus 22. Miles McBride, Deuce McBride, plus 16. I think that obviously Mikal Bridges was sat for a lot of the game after being so terrible in the short amount of time that he was in. But you gotta get him hot at some point. I don't think that they can win games without their Big 5 playing well. The Big 5 obviously being Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges. Anyways, I've yapped a lot about the Knicks-Hawks series because I personally think that it's a fascinating series with how the upsets have been going and everything, but let's turn it around and go to the Raptors-Cavaliers game because the Raptors beat the Cavs by 22 points. Now, comparing this to the other 2 games of the series where they lost by 10 and they lost by 13, you've really just got to ask yourself, what changed? And I'll tell you exactly what changed. Scottie Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Colin Murray Boyles. You might be asking to you might be thinking to yourself, who the hell is Colin Murray Boyles? I have no idea. The guy averages 8 points and 5 rebounds in the in the NBA regular season, and tonight he had 22 and 8 on 73% field goal shooting. On the other side of things, Scottie Barnes 33, 5 and 11 on 65% shooting, and RJ Barrett 33, 5 and 5 on 63% shooting. I think it's really hard to lose a game where your top three guys are playing so incredibly well. And I mean, they were all plus 23, plus 24, plus 21. You had Jamison Battle, only played in the fourth quarter. Well, I guess a bit in the first quarter, but in the fourth quarter alone, he had 14 points on 100% shooting. Absolutely ridiculous. Looking at the Cavs side of things, everything went wrong. And because of this, I don't think that they're going to lose another game in this series because, look, it's really rare to have James Harden shoot 5 of 13 and have 8 turnovers. You heard me right, 8 turnovers. That's absolutely ridiculous. To go along with that, Jarrett Allen only had 12 points. Evan Mobley, only 15 points on 4 of 3 shooting. 4 of 3 shooting for a big man is unheard of. I just don't think that this will be replicated in any way for the rest of the series. Along with this, Donovan Mitchell, this is who you're really looking to shine in these games. 15 points on 43% shooting with 3 turnovers. I mean, just a terrible game all around from everyone, and you can't blame any individual for this loss, but the team itself played really bad, and you have to be disappointed in yourself. I mean, going into the fourth quarter, it was a 2-point game. Ending the fourth quarter, 22 points. You really have to rethink what's going on after losing that badly. And for the last game of the day, the Minnesota Timberwolves absolutely whooped the Nuggets. At halftime, it was already 61-39, and the Wolves' largest lead was 23 points. I mean, look, my money's been on the Wolves the entire series. But this performance from the Nuggets is really embarrassing, especially considering that Jokic played pretty well and Jamal Murray, well, he shot super inefficiently, but he had a good amount of points. I mean, I guess on the Wolves side of things, it's just a balanced team effort. Dante DiVincenzo and Rudy Gobert having the highest plus minuses on the team, Jalen McDaniels being a close second, and I mean, I really don't know where you go from here if you're the Nuggets. I think that losing one at your own home court was pretty rough. Now losing the first away game to go down 2-1, I mean, that's not a good position to be in, especially when the Wolves have another home game coming up in 2 days. I think that they're going to win that, by the way, and if the Nuggets go down 3-1, I don't care how good Jokic is, there's a 0% chance that they win. Maybe just don't quote me on that just in case. Anyways, I'm yapping way too much, so I'll just leave it off on a bit of a somber note. The refs in the playoffs are terrible. This is the worst officiating that I've ever seen. I'm calling every single ref out because yesterday the Thunder-Suns game was pretty bad. The Pistons-Magic game also pretty bad. But today when I was watching the Knicks-Hawks game, I just could not believe it. So do with that what you will, and let me know if you think that anyone should be held accountable for this. Peace.